To order and call roll, please. Santola.
Here.
Guerrero. Here. Leeper. Here. Oakley.
Here.
Staub.
Here.
Stahl.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Okay, and Ms. Jennifer, would you lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, get started. Does anyone have a question regarding the consent agenda as presented?
Any visitors that need to speak first?
There's none on the agenda. Do you have any?
No one contacted me to
We
speak.
have people I've never seen before.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. What have we done recently that would generate $2,585.75 legal bill?
We had a complaint that we violated the Open Meetings Act in November from a board member. And we had a 7-day turnaround to respond to that. I called Mr. Braun, and he recommended that I send him a copy of the closed minutes tape and let him evaluate that and then respond to the Attorney General.
So what is the, how's that being disposed of?
Well, right now, we've not really heard a response back from the Office of Attorney General.
What were we supposed to discuss that was so grievous? $2,500.
Some information that was posted on a Facebook post, and then we also discussed the co-ops
Sure.
in the closed meeting.
I remember that discussion. We did not come to any, we did not take any action. We did not, we didn't even poll the board on anything. It was occasionally and it's usually personnel related, we will poll the board just to get an opinion. But as far as, I don't see that going anywhere because we didn't take any official action. The attempt to take a poll on anything regarding the co-ops, and the other side of that is inevitably, when we discuss co-ops, personnel and students get brought up virtually every time. So I don't see, that's ridiculous.
Well, I think I cautioned when it was first brought up that this wasn't the appropriate time. And I think going back and listening to the tape, every single board member made a comment about it, so Mr. Braun didn't feel like it would go any further. He said a lot of times things like this, you never even hear a response back.
Okay.
So
Just curious.
if I have a packet of what was sent in, if you want to take a look at it, you're more than welcome to.
I'm going to do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else on consent agenda? Then I need a motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
I'll say.
Moved and seconded by Mike Staub. Call roll, please.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Oakley.
Yes.
Staub.
Yes.
Stahl.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Santola.
Yes.
Okay. And superintendent's report.
I just have a few things to discuss. To try to keep my portion of it short. I know Mr. Field needs to talk for a little bit, and then executive session or closed session could be a little bit long, so I want to keep mine short. I did want to bring you up to date in case anybody didn't know that the 8th grade girls finished 4th in state, and so I would like to congratulate them again. Congratulate Coach Ford and Coach Marksberry on an excellent season, and the girls as well. Along those lines, the co-op girls basketball team finished 4th in the Macon County tournament. Really competitive in every game, and probably should have been playing for the championship on Saturday, but didn't quite get there. So congratulations to the girls basketball co-op as well. And if you ever get an opportunity, if you're in the building during the daytime, over Christmas break, we had both of the locker rooms painted the walls and the halls and the stairways going up. Just a dramatic improvement of what a coat of paint can do and a professional putting it on. It looks really nice. So hope to continue on doing things like that as the year progresses. So other than that, that's all I have.
Anybody have any questions? The curriculum director's report.
I'm not gonna go over a whole, I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on, but nothing really to report on yet, except for, I was approached about a month or so ago by Ken Hatcher, who was the principal over at Warrensburg High School. And something he has proposed or wanting to do, I wanted to bring up to the board and talk to you guys about a little bit, is the possibility of them offering, they are currently offering some like Richland level classes over there, the first hour in the morning by one of their teachers. And he has got a problem with having enough people in the class. And it would basically work just like Richland Transfer Academy would work, like if we send kids over to Richland. It would be a little short drive for some of them in the mornings if we were to look at doing that and offering classes for dual credit. But he has opened the door and said, you know, I will have a set amount of seats. He said, I don't know how many for sure. But if you would be interested in sending these kids over, you know, so that we would take that dual credit and that senior status, you know, he would like to definitely work something out with us. It would be no cost to us. It would cost, you know, in terms of the college credit. But other than that, they wouldn't charge us any fees or anything like that unless there was a class that they were taking with a lab. He's currently wanting to set up Monday, Wednesday, Fridays for English 101 one semester, and then English 102 the second semester, and then he would like to offer psychology and sociology on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That class would begin at like 7:20 in the morning. And so a kid could, in all honesty, take up to, if they were approved to go, could get up to 6 college credits, you know, per semester. And we have been talking a lot, and this is Anachi and I, about trying to increase the number of students that we have, you know, taking advantage of that, taking advantage of doing Richland Transfer Academy. And we thought, well, that would just be one other option, especially if a kid doesn't want to take a whole half a day. You know, they can go take one class in the morning, you know, each day a week. And they can get 2 classes each semester, so that would be one option. Now, some kids, you know, won't be able to do it because of band or whatever, probably, you know, having that first hour in the morning would be very difficult, but they would still be able to take advantage in the afternoon of actually going to Richland and doing that. We would like to really look at getting, especially our seniors, and even some of our juniors who would meet the criteria of giving them the opportunity where they can go ahead and get some college credit out of the way while they're still in school. You know, they would just take it in place, you know, of an elective. We would give them, you know, a half credit, you know, whereas the Richland, I mean, like college classes, there's like maybe 3 credits, you know, 4 credit courses. We give a half credit for each course, which is how our transcripts would be devised. So there would be kind of a disconnect with that. I was going to talk to you guys about, I don't know if, you know, we need to vote on it or how that works. I'll let you guys figure out how that goes. But if you want me to go ahead and start finding numbers, I'm already kind of looking at, and Ms. Zanoch is already kind of looking at what students would be suited for something like that, and also who would be interested in something like that, you know, to go ahead and get some of that under their belt before they get out of high school, just to make that community college experience even, you know, a little quicker than if they're, you know, pretty much sold on what they want to do, then by all means, let's help get you there if you're ready to go, and something that would be, you know, easier on them in terms of monetary things too. But I think it would be a good thing. I would love to get a good number of our kids, but I like it as another option too, just, you know, going over to the college too. And like I said, I talked to Mr. Hatcher, and he said, you know, he says, just let's get rolling on something and give me some numbers, and if you think you got some people interested, he goes, there's an option for you. He goes, you know, and it's just, we're just right over here in your backyard.
Will it be more than a 1-year option? If he tells us I'll have 10 seats for Sangamon Valley kids, will that be concurrent to another year, 2-year option? Or
I think it would just depend on who, you know, how many people you have, but I know that he's had, you know, he said, I almost don't have enough people really to, you know, to keep it in my schedule, he goes, I would like to get more people in there, and he was talking to his superintendent about it too. I told him, I said, I think that sounds great. I said, it might be slow going here at first, just getting, people involved in it and getting it figured out. But he can't do it any other time than that first hour of the day, because they have a 15-minute advisory and things like that they have to work around. Because I told him, I said, well, I think I've got some kids maybe that are interested, and I've not really told them where. I said, there's going to be, for sure, Richland Transfer Academy, which we already have kind of set up. But then we will also maybe have an opportunity with another school with a partnership if that happens, and so this would be an option for you too. But we don't want to, we don't want to limit their options. We'd like to have as many options as they can. And if it's not going to, if we're not going to be out anymore, I would say, we could do it and treat it just like we would treat the Transfer Academy. They'd be responsible for their own transportation there. And obviously, maybe sometimes they would be, a little late coming in the second hour, but I don't think we would have to worry about the students that we would be taking advantage of this, in terms of what they would do. I think they would be fine. And we would work with them on that. We would work the bugs out kind of as we went along too, but, and I said, we might have 2 kids interested, we might have 12 kids interested, you just never know, and until we, start doing schedules and seeing where it fits and how it works for folks with credits too, would be.
They pay for their credit hours?
Well, currently, like our policy in the handbook, it said that, if, that they would, cover it, and if they pass it, we pay half and they pay half, in terms of their tuition, but all their other fees, the placement test, books, things like that would be all on the student. And the books, actually, like for the English 101, 102, they don't even have books. They use a lot of primary sources and things like that, I believe. So, if they were to do the psychology or the sociology, then, and I would say that I'm not sure, I would assume that Richland probably has like a textbook rental or a buyback thing going on too. So, that would be on them. But really, we broke it down and we thought kind of best case scenario, Mr. Meadows and I figured that it would probably cost us, to do the tuition would be about the same as we would pay for tech. Kids to go to tech, so, roughly the same
I think it would be good to look into so that, and get some numbers and some hard numbers on, so we can offer another option. We know they are available or able to go to Richland, but if they could take that one morning class, then that may be something. And allow him to keep his program going on the same time.
And like I said, at this point, he's like, we'll still be going and stuff like that, but he's thinking long term too, it's like you're gonna have up years, down years, is what he said. I think like next year, he says he doesn't have as many, really gonna be taking advantage of it, and as he has room for it. And he said, I just wanna maximize it. And I said, that sounds good to me.
So if we delay a month and you bring numbers and more information back, does that still give you time scheduling wise to get things ready for the fall?
I think it would. One of the biggest things I think is just kind of knowing who's going to be for sure, and with, approximately, and we've got kind of a list of just Mrs. Ananchi and I going through and saying, well, this kid would be a good candidate, this kid would be, but of course we got to say too, are they really interested, because, we have a lot that, I had one student who was going to, try to graduate early this year. And she eventually decided against it, and her and I were talking, and I said, what you're thinking? She's like, I'm just really stressed out. I want to go ahead and I just wanted to work and save some money to start going to college. I had another tell me, well, I just want to go ahead and start college. Well, I had another said, well, I just was ready to go ahead, and I'm going to go to college at such and such a place, and I want to just go ahead and get started a semester early. And I was like,
Is there a way to send something home to make sure the parents are ready for them to do that and ready to pay that cost of tuition as well, so that, just because
the kid says
Jimmy wants to doesn't mean,
Yeah, we would look at, and I just haven't done a whole lot with it yet because I gotta make sure it's okay with you, but, we would look at putting some kind of form together to send home to get, signed, like a kind of a contract thing, something like that. I could kind of maybe see what some other folks are doing. Even with Transfer Academy or what we've done in the past with some of the students, we've kind of taken advantage of that. So far, all I've done is I kind of went through our policy for it. There wasn't a lot there. it was pretty bare bones. And so I kind of went through and I looked at like what they use, and I looked at all the other schools in our Macon County Association. And I looked at some similar programs like over for some of the Springfield schools, and I kind of just roughed out. I have this for you guys. If you see any mistakes, forgive me. It's not totally finalized yet, but it's the gist of it. I kind of went off their format and also talked about summer evening classes, dual credit, things like that. We wouldn't offer anything for dual credit or that we'd be footing the bill on that wasn't during the course of the day. You know, it wouldn't be like your summer classes, your evening classes. We're not, you know, we could look into giving you dual credit for some of those, but, you know, nothing in terms of, you know, we're gonna, if it's not like you're going to tech, you know, then you would be worried about it, but.
Even if we had some students that were not necessarily prepared for it, didn't want to take it for college class, but they wanted to use it as a preparation course.
So like,
So say you have someone that maybe cannot test into the take.
well, they would have to place in the placement test for the class. You know, if it's like the classes that are being offered would be for degree credit. So like English 1, English 2 are required courses. So they would have to place on the Richland placement test or get a certain number on the ACT. I think it's, I'm trying to remember what it is, I think it's 19 in the written language arts. Like if it was a non-credit course, like Math 098 or something.
The reason I ask that is actually, like, it's been years ago, obviously, we offered those courses. You could take them for college credit, or you could just take them as a class,
Yeah,
as a preparation class.
yeah,
And we had several students that did that.
yeah. And I think with that too, you know, I don't know how that would work, but I think if you're actually taking the class, I mean, we would have to pay the tuition, so you might as well take the credit for it anyway, you know what I mean? And I don't know if they use that to pay the instructor or, you know, how that works exactly, but for it to be, and I know that's a question I could ask too. I don't know anybody that would, you know, want to take it and not get credit for it. It's, you know, a possibility for sure. I'd say get it while you get it.
Well,
Because otherwise,
if they can't prep into it,
you know.
then obviously they would be opted from it. But if they want to take it as a prep class,
Yeah, and they would just, and that's one of the things with the Transfer Academy through Richland is they have to meet the requirements of Richland to do it. So, you know, and if they weren't ready for it, you wouldn't want to take it. I mean, you'd want to go ahead and do, you know, because not every kid that has, if they haven't had English 4, you know, they might not totally, because that's a real college prep heavy class, you know, they may not be ready. But some kids, you know, obviously have a higher aptitude or, you know, get it a little quicker, a little better, and would already, you know, place in the
And
range
it's
on
gonna
the
stay
test.
with you, that grade, whatever is gonna stay with your college
Yeah.
GPA, so.
And I mean, you can always retake it, you know, if you didn't, like some fluke thing happened and you got in it and you ended up making a D or something, you can always retake it and change your grade later, you know, so.
So does it suffice to pull the table and see that, and just see that if we want to pursue and make sure everybody's on board and just let them go ahead and do that? Is that all it would take, or?
I think that would be fine.
Okay. Brad, you want to start?
yeah, I think it'd be something to at least explore the interest level.
I can go ahead and check the numbers and stuff like that, you know,
Mike? Martha?
Yes.
I'm good. Jeff?
Yeah, I took it, me and Coach Lee took it, and Adelapis, English 1 and 2, and that helps out a lot, I think.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, Michael?
Yep.
All right, so,
and I'll go ahead and give you guys just to look over this and, you know, also be my eyes too on this, because usually I was doing this after the course of the day, so it might not, there might be some errors on it. Some stuff I kind of missed, but I tried to make it as ironclad as I could on there. So like, is there anything you
One
see
question,
missing?
do they have to use it for Richmond credit? I mean, if they're going to another junior college, I mean,
Well, it would be through Richland.
okay.
But I mean, usually, I mean, most of your,
101 and 102 should, are usually.
they should transfer
Yeah.
anywhere you go.
Yeah.
You know, just like if you were gonna transfer your associate's degree, you know, for instance, I went to Ring Lake College and I went to SIU, all my general classes, and that's what we would stress too, you know, taking core curriculum, that is gonna transfer anywhere.
Okay.
You know, you're not gonna go take dance 101 and then you try to go, you know, onto Mizzou or something, and it doesn't, you know, change over, so.
same
Is
with
this a
the site.
Warrensburg teacher or Richland professor?
The one at Warrensburg will be a Warrensburg teacher who's certified to teach it, and if they take it at Richland, it will be a Richland instructor, so. But I kind of tried to make that for either case. It would be, we treated it just like the transfer academy in either case, so.
had asked you earlier about semester exams. Did you ask Mr. Field tonight?
I talked to him and Jamie Antonacci about it, and they were going to come to the next board meeting and
February.
put some numbers together and show you what they have.
Okay.
So I thought that would be better than,
Yeah, and if there's anything specifically you want to see or know about, just let me know.
Okay.
Put that all together too.
Yeah,
If
I
there's
was,
anything outside of what we put together.
yeah. I had just inquired as to this year, a lot of kids were able to not take semester exams. They had a certain grade point average or a certain grade, I guess, and some other criteria was met as well. And I was just inquiring as to how that worked and what went into that. So if we can talk about it next month, that's fine.
Sure.
Okay?
One quick question we were just on. Do we have any opportunity for offerings of the similar here? Do we have any qualified teachers to?
We don't currently have anybody right now that has master's standing to where they could actually teach that class. Now, they could do like a non-credit class if we did one of the prep classes, like a Math 098 or something like that, that would get you up to that. We could offer that because you don't have to have your master's to do that. But we don't have anybody right now that has their master's like in the English department to do that. And Ms. Moore is actually working on hers. And I'm not sure what her ETA is on finishing that. She's not very far in the program anyway, a year. But once she got that, that would definitely be something that she would be able to teach and doing also English 4 and stuff like that.
we have a pretty young staff in high school now, so.
How many students are using the transfer academy?
We currently do not have anybody enrolled in the Transfer Academy.
Okay. Anything else?
I guess I'm part tested in March.
Yes.
Are we gonna be taking it on paper this year? Are we gonna be taking it on laptops, computers,
As far as I know, paper and pencil again this year.
again this year?
Yeah, logistically, I mean, in terms of and I don't know if we can split it from school to school to go either way, but I just thought it would be easier to not disrupt, because we would have to take up the computer lab quite a bit, and to keep classes out of there that are needing to use it for actual, projects and stuff like that. I didn't want to tie it up to take the test when we could do the test on the pencil and paper, so.
And I think all the reporting we saw showed that schools that used paper pencil scored better or scored higher. They didn't have the,
I'm scared of
Yeah.
all the problems that I know of people who actually did do it computer-based. Last year being the first year, I'm afraid that they probably do not have all the bugs worked out of it yet. And I know, I think the system crashed a few times on some folks I knew over at Chatham. And I know that it did at a few other schools as well. And so it actually extended the whole process out a lot longer than it even could have been. We thought it would be streamlining stuff, but with anything new like that that's untested,
There's a learning curve.
and it's just the infrastructure of it, it's just, I'm skittish of it. I don't want to, take a real long amount of time out on it, when paper pencil, we're pretty used to that, go ahead and do that, and we'll be good to go.
Anyone else? No? All right. We move on to old business.
You want to talk about the technical setting,
yes.
evaluation?
We have scheduled to have IASB facilitator come in and do a goal-setting session for, it'll be a board self-evaluation initially. They'll meet with us in closed session. It's about a 3-hour process. All of the board members, including Mr. Meadows, and answer a few different surveys, kind of talk through, trying to get everyone on the same page, headed in the same direction. And then following that, we will go into open session to set a specific date and time to do a actual day-long goal setting for the school district, which will involve the board, a few administrators, a few teachers, and a few local people throughout the community, So basically it's set up for February 25th, from 6 to 9. And then we're looking into April for the actual goal-setting meeting, but that'll be set up at that time specifically. So hopefully we will have some new goals and directives coming out at the end of it.
What's the, how many times we do this?
Just essentially once. You'll do one of the board self-evaluation, and then the goal setting will be one full day. Kind of tentatively looking at the group session in the morning and then breaking off and doing a board session in the afternoon where we can actually start and move forward from there. There is an option for another half day if it becomes warranted, but I don't see that as needing to be done. So that is about the only thing that is set. Again, February 25th, 6 to 9, here in this room. She will come and provide everything. We will have the board she'll use. We'll have individual clickers to take the surveys, so everything remains anonymous, and the board just answers a bunch of questions, and then we discuss those questions, so to get us started. Okay? And then new business.
As I put your,
I have done.
Oh, do we need to do it? Thought we did that
I
last
don't
time.
know, since we were gonna have a meeting, I put it on there, I didn't know if we needed to actually set a date and time.
Okay.
If we,
Well, let's go
May as
ahead and
well,
motion,
just in case.
yep, so we have it again on record. Motion to set the IASB board self-evaluation training for 25th from 6 to 9 p.m. in the boardroom.
I'll move.
By Mike Staub, second by Brad Santola. Call roll, please.
Leeper, yes. Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Santola,
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes. Now new business.
every 6 months, we have to review our closed session minutes, the written minutes, and I'll recommend that due to the confidential nature of our closed minutes, that they remain closed, and so we'll do that here in January, and then we'll do it again in July, and like I said, it's something that we do every 6 months.
Okay. So we need a motion to keep the closed session minutes from July 2015 through December 2015 closed.
So moved.
Motion made by Leonard Williams. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Made by Mike Staub. Call roll, please. Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay.
Next, we have the Boys Football Cooperative. Actually, we'll have 4 coming up. Football, volleyball, high school softball, and high school baseball. Obviously, we're the host for football and volleyball. Tri-City is the host for softball and baseball. I think as far as our sports goes and the hosting of those sports, it's pretty even. As far as a recommendation for me to go ahead and do that, I think we would be stepping backwards if we didn't renew those co-ops. They've been very successful. One thing that always pops out in my mind is sitting there in the gym when we had our own girls' basketball program, and it was just us, and we were in Sangamon at the time, and it was brutal. And unless you've sat through that, unless you've sat there and watched the kids' faces during that, it was bad. It was awful. So I think the co-ops have been very successful. I just feel like we need to continue to work with Tri-City.
I guess in reading through the contracts, I'm wondering if it's an option to make a couple of tweaks before everybody signs on the dotted line. One of which was, we know this year there was a price increase on their end as far as athletic fees. And we probably should raise ours, quite frankly, because I don't think we've done so in many years. But, you know, is there something where if we're in a 2-year locked agreement, we don't raise fees during that time, they don't raise fees during that time?
Well, one of the things that we've not done in the past, the administration's not got together and discussed those things, and like we talked about when we met, was that we were going to do this at the end of the fall season, at the end of the winter season, at the end of the summer season, and meet and discuss these things. And I don't really feel like, and we could put all of that in writing or whatever, but I really feel like just communication between the administration will take care of a lot of that. And some of the rumors and the confusion with girls basketball, I think it was a perfect storm where you had the fees were raised, you had the shorts incident that had the SVTC on the leg, you had just everything, kind of a perfect storm. And I really don't foresee that being a huge issue.
I just have a problem with, we have girls that are going to be paying $250 in athletic fees. I mean, don't get me wrong, Sturdy and Nike are awesome coaches. I mean, if they were my kid's coach, but I think that's a little excessive. When we charge, what, 50, 40 for an athletic fee for a whole year? I mean, what they're doing down there, I just have an issue with them paying $250 to go down there and not letting us know when they change this. It's not, you just, hey, you take it or leave it. And I think, I think the girls would take it, but I think we need to have discussions with them in stating that, can we work on this? Maybe there's a cap. I mean, maybe it's $100. If you play 2 sports down there, it's $100. If you play one, I mean, just, let's talk to them. I mean, we can sit here and make, it ain't gonna happen. Let's talk to them, because I think I think they need us more than we need them. I mean, it's kind of one of those deals where I think, I think let's just give them a call and say, hey, can we work on something with these fees?
Yeah, they do have a cap on theirs at $260.
Yeah.
And obviously, if some of those fees aren't paid by certain students anyway, if you're free and reduced lunch, right? But, still that doesn't follow. You're paying 2 sports there and 1 sport
Right.
here, you're still paying $250 and.
Well, I
260
think
per
as a
family.
board,
Yeah, per family.
you need to consider and look at the fees, because there's nobody around that's charging 1 set fee of $50 to play all sports. And I know if you play any summer rec, you're gonna pay way more than $260.
Well, paying $800 for summer league baseball team. So I mean, it's
What are the fees going to?
I know, like ours, they would
Over
just
their
go to,
transportation.
just into the general fund to pay officials, transportation, coaches.
Yep.
I think Meridian is only $150 cap per family and $50 per sport.
And see, I think that's something we should probably look at doing. That sounds like a
I mean, we do have a
minimal thing.
high rate of low-income families. This might be a better way to, get more involvement.
Well, I think that's always been the fear with raising it above the 50 a year is, you're wanting to get enough kids on every team to make a team. You don't want them to be deterred by having $150, come time to register or whatever. So it was always, we've just always left it at 50, but I think, given the budget situation and what, we're dealing with, I think it's probably time to look at that.
We can discuss those things, and, one of the other things with the girls that basketball that I drew a blank on was we heard that they were gonna cut games, and they did cut some games, and it's kind of a tough pill to swallow when you pay $100 to play a sport, and then you also find out that you're, gonna cut 4 or 5 games. And again, I think all of those things can be looked at in these meetings and discussed, and when we get the principals involved and the athletic directors involved, and I would be willing, I think everybody here would be willing to, if we need to host some more of those girls' games to have them, we'll get them in our gym. And
Well, I think.
Do we have the schedule yet for the games?
I don't know.
I don't think they're out yet. I'm not sure.
Josh,
What
do
I
you
would,
have them?
what I would like
Next
to do
year?
is, after the winter season's over, is take a look and see how many games we actually played, and look at the years past, and see what we actually lost, and then, use that as a starting point.
For the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
It's
good.
12 and 3 tournaments. Isn't it? girls basketball?
16,
Yeah,
boys
16. I
16.
think they went down from 20 to 16. I mean, that's what I've been hearing, so I mean,
That's what it is.
let's put the extra 4 on it. I mean, if they want to play an extra 4, play them here.
That's
Well,
exactly.
I'm
We'll pay for
assuming
them to pay
they
for
didn't
it.
cut home games. I'm gonna assume they were away games and they were non-conference games.
But that rolls into your next
They
scenario. where
usually
you
do
go
2-year contracts, don't they, Josh?
Mhm.
And did they get, everybody said they were trying to get a few games back. Had you,
They got a couple games back. I
Did
think they
they?
got 2 games back.
okay, so they're down 2 games.
Yeah.
Well, it's tough to ask kids to play, to practice, you know, do the summer out of season and then working with them work and then have your game time check back. So I'm all for, if they can't host them, we can host them here, 3 or 4 games. We'll pay referee fees and however we work it out with them on these things. But I'd be all for that, but I really think we need all these calls as well, because they work well.
I need to remember the other side too. If we raise the fees, we need to remember to communicate with them too.
Right.
Beforehand.
Right.
Well, on the football co-op, it states here in this 5th paragraph that Tri-City agrees to pay 1/3 of the cost to recondition helmets. I would like to see that changed to 50%.
Just the cost of the reconditioning?
Really, I'd like to see 50% for the whole football program. We just split the money right down the middle.
Well, we have 3 out of the 4 coaches from Sangamon Valley, so I don't think that's
So
fair.
No, we get all the gate too, and it's,
Exactly.
take the gate off the top of it. And then split it down the middle of the cost. Are they paying for the ambulance fees, the porta potty fees and such? Are they paying a portion of that?
the porta potty fees we paid and the ambulance fees, I think we paid as well. I looked into that a little bit deeper. We do pay for that.
So that's probably about $2,000 that we paid that they don't pitch in at all for.
But part of that too, I think, is, that was something that I felt like was important, especially with the porta potties, to try to cut down the traffic in the building, because these older bathrooms can't keep up with a playoff football crowd. So, you know, part of that is a little bit, that has to do with our facilities, as far as the ambulance goes. I don't even know what that is, a game.
It was about
50,
$1,500 last season.
The total,
Total. probably.
Roughly, yeah, for the whole season. It was about $1,500 through the bills.
I guess we probably had 5 games at home last year, I would imagine, so
Yeah. 6 there, it's 6, right?
$300 a football game.
It's 6 or
I don't
7.
know. JV.
You're also talking JV
Toss
too,
in JV games as well.
and playoff games.
Hey, can you explain to me how the transportation works? Because I was reading in here that they have to go, like, for the ones where they're the host school and we're the host school, we have to put them in one of our buses, take them to Tri-City if they're the host school. They get on the team bus there and then go to the, if it's an away game, they go to away game on the team bus.
Yes.
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 And then they come back on the team bus and we have to send a driver to another bus to go get them again.
Unless
No.
they, or do they bring us back?
No,
You're talking about
right
them
now.
being the host, Tri-City being host? If Tri-City is the host, we will drive them, our bus will take them to Tri-City. And then Tri-City bus will take them to the game. After the game is over, Tri-City will drive our kids all the way back here first, then drive their kids back to Tri-City.
And
So
we
on
do
a
the
away
same.
game, we have
And it's
one
the
drop,
reverse.
We have one drop.
and our bus driver goes home. If it's a home game, if the game's at Tri-City, we drive the kids to Tri-City, and then we have to pick them up from Tri-City and bring them back, if it's a home game.
Mhm.
Anytime that they come this way,
Works the same way.
they
but-
pick us up. If Tri-City comes this way for a game at like Warrensburg or Saragordo or whatever like that, they will pick us up, and we don't need to drive them over there.
And that basically works the same way if we're the host school.
Yep, so football does the same thing. Football, they'll bring them over here, and then we'll take the team bus to wherever we go, Saragordo, and then they will drop them off at Tri-City and then come back here with our kids.
In order to save buses, would it be better if the home school, arranged it to where there's just one bus, one team bus does all the work, one driver? That way it would save us a bus, it would save them a bus. I mean, you have a team bus that picks,
I think Tri-City, didn't Michael Didn't they bring their own little short bus over for the
We
kids?
we
most
catch
of the
a
time?
break there because the last few years, any coach we've had from Tri-City has also had his bus
Permit?
license, bus permit. So Coach Hiley right now, he brings over volleyball and football for practice, and then he takes them back on his own. So, I mean, he's a coach and a bus driver. So our away games, he brings over the Tri-City kids on a small bus, and then we go to an away game, and then we come back here, and then he takes the Tri-City kids and takes them back. So, and Coach Mall, when we had him a few years before Coach Hiley, he was the same way. So the last 4 or 5 years of football, we've had the coach from over there has also been a bus driver, so it's worked out.
So for, like, girls' basketball, for instance, if they had a game at Pleasant Plains, a girls' basketball game at Pleasant Plains, you're wanting Tri-City to bring their bus here to pick us up and then drive back through, is that what you're saying?
The team bus?
Yes, so like Tri-City's girls' basketball bus, let's say they leave at 3:30, 4 o'clock to go to Pleasant Plains. I don't even know if they play Pleasant Plains, but they drive all the way here on their bus, so they pick up us here, and then they drive back through Plains to get to Plains? Is that what you're saying?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, instead of us loading up our bus and driving to Tri-City, or vice versa, you know, them loading up their bus when we're the home school, just have one team bus, do the work and have 2 pickups.
I really don't think the transportation is an issue. I mean, it's worked out, it runs smoothly, unless we're just looking for things to try to change.
I'm looking to save on transportation costs.
I think we saved a lot of money on transportation costs when we did this. Because they only, I mean, for away games, we were only going to Tri-City instead of, if it was whatever, if it was our own sport, we would have been going all the way to Pleasant Plains to play, or all the way to Cerro Gordo. We're just driving to Tri-City and back. And then they do a pretty nice favor of bringing their bus all the way back, which is kind of what you're saying they should do at the beginning. And we can do whatever.
I think it would work
Talk
out
about
to
it.
be about the same if they're going to come this way. They're out of their way because all of their games are that way. The majority, they may have a few non-conference if they come this way, but they're going to bring a bus and a driver this way, pay them that much, where, I mean, and then he's going straight back to where he just came from. I think it's going to be the same time and the same gas money, basically.
We can look
I don't
into
see
it.
If there's melee, it's been working fine, the way it's going, so. And with that said, I will make the motion to renew the high school boys football cooperative agreement with Tri-City, the 2016-17, 2017-18 school year.
Can I make one first?
I just made motions on the floor.
I'll second.
Second by Mike Staub. Call roll, please.
Oakley,
I'd like to vote no, and I'd like it in the minutes because we're paying all of the porta potty fees, the $1,500 in the ambulance fees, and Tri-City's only paying 1/3 of the cost as outlined in the agreement.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Centola,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leeper, yes.
And motion to renew the high school girls volleyball cooperative agreement with Tri-City for the 2016-17, 17-18 school years.
So moved.
Oh, first by Leonard, second by Martha Leeper. Call roll, please.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Centola,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leeper, yes. Oakley.
I'd like to vote no due to the increase in fees. I'd like to make a motion to table the high school girls softball co-op agreement so that we can look with Meridian and Warrensburg at their fees and what they will offer to Sangamon Valley.
Is there a second? Okay, so motion does not pass. And then I would like to just comment that we did look to Meridian, Mount Pulaski, and Warrensburg in the past, all of which had replied that they were not interested. Therefore, we went with Tri-City at the time, and we are currently in a working agreement. And to change anything at this time would seem I would think, to cause a problem. And then to go on from there, we need a motion to renew the high school
I'd
girls.
like to make a motion to table the high school boys basketball or baseball agreement until we can talk with Meridian and Warrensburg about what they could offer to Sangamon Valley due to the increase in fees with Tri-City and the fact that I believe they're in a different conference than we are, don't they?
And the MS.
Semi MSN,
And we're in a little,
Is there a second?
Warrenburg's in a big old so that's good.
Motion fails to pass.
I do want to add something. I did some research and kind of glad you brought that up. Because I saw your little post you put on Harristown Anonymous that was sent to me about, so it gave me a little bit of time to think about it.
you're welcome.
If we went to boys baseball and softball with Meridian and Warrensburg, we'd be class 3A. If we went with them in football, we'd be class 4A. That's Rochester, Mount Zion. We can't compete. It's hard enough to compete in our own classification. So you're bumping up a class. That means we're playing class 3A baseball, 577 kids to 1,440 kids in their school, high school, not school district, but high school. You got to think about these things before you make these. That's why Warrensburg and Meridian, I've talked to people over there and both. That's why they haven't asked us. They want our kids. They don't want our enrollment. Just like any other co-op. You have to understand the IHSA standards. If we take on Tri-City, we take on their enrollment. We don't take on the 6 kids that come over. Warrensburg doesn't take on the 6 baseball players or 6 softball players you're going to get. They're taking on 232 kids or whatever it is. And our classes are getting bigger next year. We're going to have more 8th graders coming in than seniors leaving, as is Warrensburg, as is Meridian. So we're going to be 3A, we're going to be 4A. We can't compete in those classes. We have 40, even if we co-op with them, we'd have 40 kids on the sideline with football going against 100 kids. We can't do that. You have to be sensible when you make these statements on Facebook. And think about it first.
I made statements about the fees cost.
Well, but you also made statements about asking to go to Warrensburg and Meridian because they got nicer facilities. You think they're going to come over? Let's finish.
So,
Do you
okay.
think they're going to come over and have us host a school when they just built multi-million-dollar facilities? There ain't a chance. You wanted more here from Tri-City, it ain't going to happen.
Yes, I need,
It ain't going to happen.
we're
Okay,
going to
good.
proceed.
All right.
We need a motion to renew the high school boys baseball cooperative.
Better do softball first.
I will make
Trying
the
to move
motion.
things along.
I'll make the motion to renew the girls softball co-op with Tri-City
I'll second.
for 2016, 2017, and 2017, 2018
School years.
school years.
Motion made by Martha Leeper, seconded by Mike Staub. Call roll, please.
Stahl,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Centola,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leeper, yes, Oakley,
No, due to the increase of fees.
got it. No baseball.
Motion to renew the high school boys baseball cooperative agreement with Tri-City for the 2016-17 and 2017-18 school years.
I'll move.
Motion made by Jeff Stahl. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Leonard Williams. Call roll, please.
Williams,
Yes.
Centola,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leeper, yes, Oakley,
No, due to the increase of fees, difference conference.
Staub,
I'm going to vote present just because of my concerns earlier about, us last year only having an assistant coach there for 8 out of the 22 games. When they proved that they got 2 or 3, I'm not for it. I mean, I'm not against it. I just want to see that happen first, and that's why I'm voting present.
okay, Stahl,
Yes.
And we did address those. We did speak of those at
Right,
the
but I-
meeting that we did have. And they do have one new coach, assistant at least. All right.
Real quick, can I make one comment on the uniforms?
Yes.
My understanding is that if we are hosting a school or hosting a sport, we choose the uniform.
Right.
If they are hosting, they choose the uniform.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes. And then we always have them just say Sangamon Valley, and they always have Tri-City, mostly for the fact that these are 2-year agreements, and we have a rotation of uniforms on a 4 or 5 year schedule. So if somebody opts out at some point, you don't want uniforms that you can't use.
I just want to make sure that was out there, so like people understood when they go to see
Right.
a sport there,
Right.
that may be why they see just Tri-City.
Right, and you'll
And
see
vice
the girls, like we've had in volleyball before, it'll say TCSV on our players' sweatshirts and on the parents' sweatshirts and stuff, and anything like that, but the school can't afford that cost if,
The uniform just says Storm for volleyball.
right. And our football helmets and whatever else, just in the event that something doesn't pass some year, that we're not all buying new things. And is there anything else? So we need a motion to enter closed sessions for the reasons stated on the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion made by Leonard Williams, seconded by Mike Stahl. Yep, 7:50, call roll please.
Centola,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leesburg, yes. Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl,
Yes.
Wood.
The closed session minutes as read in closed
So
session.
moved.
Motion made by Leonard, second.
I'll second.
Mike Staub, call roll please.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leesburg, yes. Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Centola.
Yes.
Okay, and we need a motion to accept the resignation of Justin Ford as middle school girls basketball and softball coach.
I'll move.
Mike Staub, is there a second?
I'll second.
Brad Santola, call roll please.
Leesburg, yes. Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Centola,
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes. Motion to accept the resignation of Elizabeth Lee as Sangamon Valley West Elementary Library aide effective February 19th, 2016.
I'll move.
Motion made by Martha, is there a second?
Second.
Made by Jeff Stahl, call roll please.
Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Centola,
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Leesburg. Yes, oh, they're doing what you were doing earlier. Okay.
Motion to employ Daniel Moore as Sangamon Valley Middle School night custodian.
I'll move.
Motion made by Jeff Stahl. Is there a second?
I'll second.
By Martha Lieber, call roll please.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Centola,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leesburg, yes. Oakley.
Yes.
Motion to employ Valerie Jambrin as Sangamon Valley East Elementary Principal for the 2016-17 school year.
I'll move.
Motion made by Mike Staub. Is there a
Second.
second? By Brad Santola. Call roll please.
Stahl,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Centola,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leesburg, yes. Oakley,
Yes.
Staub.
Yes.
Motion to employ Brian Britton as Sangamon Valley West Elementary Principal for the 2016-2017 school year.
Motion.
Motion made by Brad,
I'll second.
second by Mike Staub. Call roll please.
Williams,
Yes.
Centola,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leesburg, yes. Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl.
Yes.
Having satisfactorily met the goals and objectives outlined as part of his performance-based contract, motion to enter into a successor contract with Cody Trigg as principal for the Sangamon Valley School District, Sangamon Valley Middle School District, through the 2018-2019 school year.
I'll move.
Motion made by Mike Staub,
Second.
by Martha Leeper. Call roll, please.
Centola,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leesburg, yes. Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl, Williams,
Yes.
Having satisfactorily met the goals and objectives outlined as part of his performance-based contract, motion to enter into a successor contract with Jonathan Field as principal for Sangamon Valley High School through the 2019-2020 school year.
I'll move.
Motion made by Martha Leeper. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mike Staub, call roll, please.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leesburg, yes. Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Centola.
Yes.
Yeah, I think those have always been worded that way, just as a point of reference, that they're principal for
For
the
the
district, in case for some odd reason we may decide to reassign them.
Okay,
But
so it's through the district.
yeah.
Okay. Motion to grant leave to Michael Lee under the Family Medical Leave Act beginning approximately March 10th, 2016, with an approximate return date of April 4th, 2016, for the purpose of paternity leave.
So moved.
Motion made by Martha Leeper, second by Jeff Stahl. Call roll, please.
Leeper, yes. Oakley?
Yes.
Staub?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Centola?
Yes.
Guerrero?
Yes. Motion to grant leave to Leon Myers under the Family Medical Leave Act for a period of up to 12 weeks beginning approximately April 18th for the purpose of maternity leave.
So moved.
So moved by Martha Leeper, seconded by
Second.
Michael Oakley. Call roll, please.
Oakley?
Yes.
Staub?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Centola?
Yes.
Guerrero?
Yes.
Leeper? Yes.
Motion to grant leave to David Fleming under the Family Medical Leave Act beginning approximately February 11th with an approximate return date of February 26th, 2016, for the purpose of paternity leave.
I'll move.
Motion made by Mike Staub. Is there a second?
I'll second.
By Martha Leeper. Call roll, please.
Staub?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Centola?
Yes.
Guerrero?
Yes.
Leeper? Yes. Oakley?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess we need a motion to
I
adjourn.
have something for discussion. I was reading through the Taylorville board minutes, and they were talking about their preschool program and how those, I think those block grants, are they coming back open for, in February?
Not to my knowledge.
I have heard that they would come back open, but it didn't have a date.
We are gonna go after them though, right? Competitively. Because the way I understood, they're coming back open competitively to where like all the districts can put in for them.
That's what Mrs. Weiscup had informed, I don't know if she told you, but she mentioned it to me, yeah. So,
So that's just next month? Okay. I was thinking for some reason we had a date that was further out than that, but I guess we need to, would they have to put in their?
well, I thought it was dependent probably on a state budget.
Yeah. They're not gonna do anything with that, so.
Okay.
We're
Yeah,
looking
we can
at,
definitely
we're
look
looking at
into
the
it.
possibility of lighting grants, and I've been working with Springfield Electric. And everything's on hold until they get a budget.
That was gonna be one of my next questions, was about if we'd heard anything back from the grants. The other thing is payments. Are you pulling in payments from the state as we expect?
You
I
get
assume
approved.
since we hadn't heard anything, that was the
Yeah.
good thing. Okay. And then I just have one other question, I guess, as far as the, kind of gone to the trouble to make sure that we have a camera person here. Is there a reason we're still doing two? Or are we not doing it? I mean, it's getting up on the site and it's doing everything it's supposed to be doing, right? As far as I've seen it up on our website and stuff. Okay, I just want to make sure, because I went through a lot of painstaking belly aching to get it done through the school district and make sure that Mr. Grecky was here all the time. So I just wanted to make sure we were holding up our end of the bargain. I did notice all of the nice changes to the website over the Christmas vacation. It looks very nice.
That's awesome.
When did the agenda hit the website? This month's agenda?
I don't know, I can check for you.
It usually is up on Friday, and I was looking Monday and I still hadn't seen it. I was just curious.
I don't know either, because I got mine in the packet.
Yeah. Some of us didn't get our packets till last night. Yeah. I don't know how, we live the closest to the
Yeah.
school and we didn't get a packet until last night. but Could have walked up and gotten it, but anyway. All right, anything else for this evening? So then we need a motion to adjourn.
I'll move it now.
Yep, well, Mike Staub first, is there a second?
Second.
Mike Oakley, call roll please. Nope, sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?